3 minutes.
Okay, fine. Another 2 minutes.
सर इंट्रोडक्शन देना होगा ना, कौन देगा?
Start now?
हाँ, अभी आप इंट्रोडक्शन
Yeah, sir. They will introduce you, sir. Just wait.
Okay. हाँ, उसके बाद फिर हम लोग चलेंगे।
Well, good afternoon. Hello. Good afternoon, one and all. I, Dr. H.K. Lakshmi Pataya, faculty in the Department of Civil Engineering, VIVEKANANDA Institute of Technology, Bangalore, welcomes you all of this 4th day webinar, the afternoon session of the topic high-rise building design and construction by very experienced engineer Shantilal H. Jain with both bachelor degree and master's degree qualifications. Very happy, sir. Happy to introduce to our listeners. Now, to go through the details of engineer Shantilal H. Jain. He has completed both bachelor and master's degree with membership of FIE, MISSE slash PETA, then CTBUH with experience more than 40 years. The established firm Struct Bombay Consultants. It was the leading structural consultancy firm having office at Mumbai, carrying out consultancy in structural design and high-rise building. The important positions are: number 1, the member of high-rise committee, Navi Mumbai Municipal Corporation since 2013. Number 2, committee member for identification of dilapidated danger building in Navi Mumbai, constructed by CIDCO since 2015. Number 3, past chairman and council member of the Institution of Engineers India and council member of the Institute of Engineers India. Next, substitute member for past technical committee of the high-rise building in Mumbai, April 2009 to July 2010. Next, advisor, trustee, Indian Society of Structural Engineer. Next one, past executive council member of Institute for Steel Development and Growth. Then member on panel for revision of important BAS codes related to civil engineering, CED 2 and CED 7, which includes IS 456/IS 1330, 13311, etc. Next, member of panel appointed by Government of Maharashtra as per Mumbai for the direction of the High Court of Mumbai for declaring building dilapidated, unstable or unsafe for reconstruction of seized building in Mumbai 2005 and 2006. Then appointment by court commissioner in LC suit 1625 of 2017 in case of shore file failure at Vadala. Then last, of course, not least, they have many more membership. Member of expert review panel as per IS 16700 for high-rise building for Mumbai by MCGM from April 2021. Of course, there are many more memberships on the experienced person we have today. We're lucky to have such an experienced engineer. Now, I also welcome Mr. A.K. Samantha, Manager of Mechanical Institute, to this afternoon session. And also welcome Dr. C.S. Shashi Kumar, HOD of Civil Engineering, Department of Civil Engineering, VKIT, VIVEKANANDA Institute of Technology, and all the faculty members of the Civil Engineering Department and all participants for the today's webinar. Now, I hand it over to our HOD to introduce the invite and introduce the speaker today, that is Shantilal. Okay, sir.
Good afternoon, one and all. I think we are glad to have such a renowned personality with us for this webinar. I think the high-rise code itself is available with us today, who is one of the contributors for developing that code. I think the future is high-rise buildings because of the space constraint. I think Shantilal Jain sir is going to enlighten us with all the technical aspects and construction aspects of high-rise buildings. I once again welcome him for this webinar and also thank him for accepting the invitation to deliver the lecture today. We are very glad to have you, sir. Once again, I welcome you. I now request Samantha sir to speak a few words.
Thank you, sir. Exactly, this Jain Sahab, a highly respected man in Mumbai. He is associated with so many committees in Mumbai, Maharashtra. Even he is the active member of so many BIS code. His profile is very high, and I know personally him that he has constructed a remarkable structure, especially in building sector in Mumbai. I have seen it. And just now on the screen also you can see that 185-story building behind him, it is visible. So it has been designed and constructed under his leadership only. So that's why when you have proposed that one talk should be on the high-rise building, then I could not think anyone else except my this Jain Sahab. And he has been in our INSDAG committee also, and he has contributed in many ways. We have organized number of programs with institutional engineers, and he has been the instrumental for that. And so many programs are going on with their help. So personally, he takes the catalytic role as well as he takes the active role in organizing and delivering the lecture. He's sharing his experience with all. So really, I have no word to exactly describe him in a short period. But anyway, I think now I would like to invite you. So Jain Sahab, kindly you share your experience with us, and your presentation will be operated from VIVEKANANDA Institute of Technology. Kindly now you can start your presentation. So sir, now you can start sharing the screen.
Yes, sir.
So that you can start.
Organised, can you please go ahead?
Yes, sir. Shall I start now?
Sir, just a minute. That share screen will come. Yeah, now, sir, you can start.
Yeah. Thank you very much to my friend Samantha sir and professors of college,
Shashikumar sir.
Bangalore, Swami Vivekananda College, and all who are present, professors, students, engineers, or my colleague. I'm very much thankful to Samantha sir to give this me opportunity to deliver one lecture. This lecture is not important. The importance is we all engineers through this platform come together. And I have social aim in my life for civil engineers especially to bring them together for good cause, because civil engineering is the first engineering. Thereafter all other engineers. Today there is computer, electronic, etc. Many things. But civil is first, thereafter others. So I'm very happy to be with all of you on this platform. And if some opportunity comes in future, we may have physical meeting sometime somewhere. If I visit Bangalore, I will try to come down to your college also. I am president of Indian Society of Structural Engineers. Our aim is to help engineers, bring them together, fight against injustice, etc. etc. I am practicing in building designs, especially RCC buildings, for 40 years. My company and I have set up in Mumbai. Already my introduction has been given. Now, first slide.
Varunish sir.
Next page, please. See, what is high-rise building? It is up to you. Local conditions. Everywhere, high-rise is being defined different way. Somewhere you say it is 10-story high-rise. Somewhere 20 stories high-rise. Somewhere it is 30-story high-rise. Somewhere 100-story high-rise. Depending on cities where you are staying or where you are designing. As per our tall structure code, more than 50 meters.
Jain sir, kindly stop for a while. I
Yes.
think that screen is not being shared. Just stop for a few seconds.
Yes, sir.
Sir, can you check what is the problem? Because I am not able to see the share screen of the presentation.
मैंने तो भेजा है आपको ना.
Yeah. No.
कोई बात
It's
नहीं.
their
आप-
browsing.
No.
It is a problem from VIT side.
Sir, 1 minute, sir.
You adjust till then. I will speak about planning and this part.
Yes, sir.
If it is okay, because your time will be wasted.
Okay.
You adjust. I will talk about plannings.
Yeah. Okay, sir.
General things.
Okay, sir.
See what happens ki, what is high-rise building? When I became graduate in 1981-82, buildings of 4 to 7 stories where most of buildings were there. Now Mumbai is having about 80-90 story buildings. So this is the difference from 1981 to 2022. Earlier people were avoiding lift buildings and keeping it below 4 stories because BMC law was up to ground plus 4 you were allowed without lift. To save the cost of lift, we were providing ground plus 4, consuming FSI within ground plus 4. Then nowadays things have changed. Even in Mumbai, minimum building what we are providing is ground plus 22. Only where airport problem is there or aviation problem is there only we have small buildings, especially near airport or that funnel or what you call. Otherwise, buildings 22 story, architect plans 22 story up to 70 meter height, because as per BMC and Bombay some court matter happens and up to 70 meter, beyond 70 meter, high-rise committee was appointed in Mumbai. In other parts of countries, somewhere it is 10 stories, somewhere it is 20 stories. Now 16700 code has been introduced in India since 2017. It is not still in implementation at many places. Slowly it will get popular and will get implemented throughout country. But mostly big cities are having problem. And day by day, FSI is increasing. FSI increase is happening, and how to adjust that FSI? To adjust that FSI, we have only one choice: increase the height, increase number of floors. Then nowadays, car park is a very big issue. So that is asking us to provide more floors on account of parkings. Then the many other amenity areas are now required. That is also adding floors. So now what I am observing in Mumbai, especially Mumbai, 22 to 40, 120 meter height, up to 120, 70 to 120 meter height, high-rise buildings need not go to high-rise committee, but they have to comply all recommendation given by committee. And below, above 120, the files will go to high-rise committee in Mumbai especially. All over India, it is not required, only in Mumbai because of some court order. Now above 120, now 250 meter and above is there, then you have to refer to ERP as per 16700 code. And currently first file of this type in India is for Birla, is constructing at Worli, Mumbai, 254 meter height building. And that file has been also referred to me for clearing that. So that we will not discuss now. The planning and then structure. Next slide can be taken. Next slide, please. To under place and conserve high-rise development, so it is naturally, basically we have to consume FSI, and for that we are going big height. So planning, architecture and structure. After planning comes in picture. In planning, see, small buildings doesn't play a very big role. We can have any type of structures, any type of layout, but moment we go high-rise, role of structural layout is very important. Unfortunately, our architects feels that they know everything and they don't take in consideration structural layouts while planning, and they give it to structural, and structural engineers are in deep trouble to adjust that. And our engineers are very expert. They are trying to adjust. Then they ask architect to change the plans, etc. So it is advisable that planning and structure both should go together for especially big buildings, tall structures, say 10, 20, 30, 40 stories. Next slide. These are the people who we need normally: architects, structure engineer, PMC, MEP consultant, because MEP has also equally big roles in buildings. We have a lot of firefighting issues, we have a lot of water issues, and lift issues, electrical matters, and these are to be designed properly at time of architecture. Otherwise, what happens? The building becomes mesh. After architectural structural, sometime what I have seen in past, the building starts and after 5-10 floors are constructed, then we come to know that lot of cutouts, lot of openings, lot of things are required to help MEP people. So let us, all four teams should come together. PMC, the person who study drawing or site management, they comes under our team, architect, engineers, MEP, issue them drawings and they do the construction. Next slide. So, planning, one thing is more there, that this parking tower and these have a lot of problems have been created because of parkings in placing columns, especially because you need driveway, you have to park car properly. Many parks car parking have been done, but unfortunately efficiency of car parking has gone down. Where you should have to park 10, you are not able to park 5 because of bad planning and bad column and shear wall locations. Now, what are the materials we are going to use for buildings, high-rise buildings? It cannot be in load bearing like what we were constructing for our old ancient structures, because strength and this whatever is required, we may not be able to, and speed, everything is required to be constructed because we start 50 or 100 story building. No, at present we are facing a lot of problem and we are taking 5 to 10 years to complete the buildings. So how to control that? Considering all the things, maximum buildings are being constructed in RCC only. Then structural steel buildings, then composite material building. Few people want to go for composite. Most 90% or 95% buildings are going with RCC building only. Structural steel buildings are very popular internationally, but India, unfortunately, we are not behind structural steel more. They may be, they are more used in industrial buildings, structural steel, but residential or commercial building, composite is being used at many places. One building 65 story we are doing at Mumbai is composite with steel jacketed in concrete, RCC concrete, and that is helping us in increasing carpet area. That's why builder is following, otherwise he is not interested. In residential, what happens? Walls are being used as a shear wall and we are going with RCC buildings. Take next. Next slide. Biggest challenge in the weather area, coastal area, is corrosion of steel. What steel we are using, that gets corroded very fast. By the time you construct, if it is exposed, corrosion starts. So good builders, good agencies are many times getting bars, galvanized or epoxy coated bars are also being used. But unfortunately, our people are more cost effective on structure angle and they are liberal in putting finishing items more money. So we all decision makers should explain our builders, architects to take proper measure to have good quality of steel with some treatment. Next, sir. Next. While doing structural configuration, especially in residential buildings, we get a lot of shear walls because most of walls are helpful to us as columns. When become 4 times more, it becomes wall, and still it becomes more. And from top to bottom, from bottom to top, shear wall systems is very, very, very common. And configuration of is not decided, but architecture. See, every plot has different shape, different size. So ideal structures are never, very rare available. It is only in townships. But normally plot size, and after marking open space, architect will try to fit his plans. And then structural engineer try to fit in that their walls and slab system and shear wall, columns, etc. etc. Next, sir. Next slide. See, when we design building, what we first do, we all know that gravity load is lifetime load. Lifetime. Every day in residential building, hardly 10% is live load. In commercial, also 15% hardly is live load. Dead load is 90%. 80 to 90% is dead load only. And so, as a structure engineer, first we should try to find out good configuration, adjusting all parkings, driveways, etc., and decide the column or wall sizes. And that is to be decided as per dead load plus live load, which is going to be a lifetime load. Thereafter, the models are being made in various softwares. It may be STAD, ETAB, Midas, or many things. But nowadays, for RCC buildings, ETAB has become popular all over India, which is being extensively used by most of the consultants, and safe for foundation. ETAB and safe. STAD Pro was earlier used more, but nowadays that is more used for space frame analysis and steel structures. And after finalizing column, shear walls, etc. sizes, we run the models with wind load and earthquake load. And wherever deficiencies are there, our sizes are to be increased. And wind tunnel test is being done. Most of people are not unaware because it is very rarely used by the people. People don't want to put money in this. In India, few IITs, only one or two are only doing wind tunnel test. And one company, RWDI, which is a Canadian company, Mr. Suresh Kumar is CEO of that company in India. They do wind tunnel test. In what that do, they make models in laboratory. The building which we are going to construct, as per our planning design, they make models and they put in surrounding structures also model in that area. So you will get real feel of wind, because when wind flows, as per our IS codes, we try to put wind loads as per coefficients given K1, K2, K3 or whatever is there. But realistically, what are the surrounding plots, that also decide surrounding structure, that will give you how much wind will attract, how many realistic picture we try to create through wind tunnel test, and those results are to be incorporated. But they are very out of in many people are not using, but I feel that for structures more than 120 meter, we must go for wind tunnel test. Most of the buildings which are constructed, especially zone 1, zone 2, zone 3, will behave earthquake se zyada wind will govern the designs, not earthquake. Once building crosses 100 meter, it is wind load that is going to control your building. Next slide. Even as of now already I have described. Next. If the deflections, when deflections are too high, how to control that? So dampers are used. That is also very rarely used. A building which was behind me, there are 3 towers of 87 story. In one of the building, dampers are being used in water tanks on last floors. What is damper? Damper try to bring back the deflected building to in original shape as early as possible to absorb the forces. So deflections are controlled. It bring back the building into the place, and they are very helpful. And in foreign countries, they are very common. But our Indian conditions, people want to save money. Structural engineers are pressurized not to use this, so we have to take structural element into force to control the deflections. Next slide. See, when we have talked about how shear wall, columns, or column wall and shear walls, column becomes wall, becomes shear walls, etc. What about foundation now? For that, we have to first do proper soil investigation, at least minimum 3 or 4 bore. And as per bore, where you get rock, at least drill 15 meter more to ascertain what sort of strata is there below the founding strata. What are the common foundation? Rock foundation is very common, especially in Mumbai, because Mumbai has rock. all over. If you go to below 8-10 meters, you will get very good rock. But many places raft is not, you will not get rock in India. There are many places where we are not able to get rock. So pile foundation may be used there to transfer the vertical load to the appropriate place. Then combined raft pile is also sometime when the strata is not enough at our required level, we have to go for combined raft pile also. At present, what I have observed that at least 2 to 4 basements are to be constructed in Mumbai, and I am doing some work at Mangalore and other places also. 2-3 basements have become very common to adjust parkings. Car parking is a very big headache for designers and architects to adjust, including their driveway, and column positions are not very near. So a lot of problems are there, designers, but so expertise is required. And in those, after 2-3 floor below, normally we get very good strata at many of the places. So RAF becomes okay for all of us. And now during one more challenge is there, during excavation of 2 or 3 or 4 basements, we have seen a lot of failure happen to the adjoining property. So to avoid that, we are providing shore piles. Shore piles are provided all around plot, anchored properly in rock, to prevent collapses of side property or earth from during construction. And it is to be properly designed, and blind excavation has created many problems at many places. So proper soil investigation with proper geotech consultant, what I have seen in many years that we have not given proper importance to geotech consultants and their reports. People think that structural people take decision, civil engineer take decision, and they go ahead. But sorry to say, when you are going multiple basements, etc., or even small project, please try to get rope in geotech consultant into the project to get proper way of doing proper foundation. Next. See, what was our normally what we were doing earlier for all buildings, wooden or steel shuttering, and we are doing our work. But now time has changed. We want speed. We want to construct very fast, because 40-50 story or 100 story, when you will achieve? If you not use proper shuttering, it will take more years, more time. So nowadays, many type of shutterings are available. But aluminum formwork has become very popular in our India. My one company introduced this formwork about 15-20 years back, and it has given very good result, excellent result, good finish. And speed of construction is that at 5 days, 5 days to 7 days, you are able to achieve slab interval. So 40 slabs are there, then at say 280 days, you can achieve this. And aluminum finish is very good. In this, advantage is this, why this is being used. In this, slab, beam, column are concreted together. Normally what we were doing, we were after slab, we were erecting column. After completion of column, we were doing beam slab shuttering. But in this aluminum formwork, which is my one type or any other company, nowadays lot of local manufacturers come up in India also. They are supplying this type of shuttering, and it is very, very fast. Everything is digital. You have to provide numbering on that coding. Moment you remove the shuttering and put to next floor, within 7 days you are able to achieve interval. They are claiming 4 days, but practically I have seen that within 7 days we are able to concrete next slab after putting reinforcement. For reinforcement also on site, nowadays suppliers are directly giving you steel, cut steel as per the drawings. That is also advantage, where no fabrication fabricating these fitters are required on site, only to tie rods, that's all. Material directly come in the required size, required band, required things, required shape to site, and you are going to do this. Tata and many other companies are giving now reinforcement in this bundle form for required things. Next. These are the various codes. But 16700 in 2017 is now getting implemented slowly in many places. And lot of restriction has come in this. If you go through 16700, lot of my friends, many of my friends are there in committee of 16700. Aspect ratio of building, slenderness ratio, now they have put many limits. And now PBD, performance design, is also introducing this for buildings above certain height, and where your deviation of code is there, then PBD is required. At present, PBD is not popular in India, very rarely used, but now future there will be PBD, performance based design, where your limit exceeds codal values. You have to go for PBD. And at present, there are no much publication available in Indian publication, but I am president of Indian Society of Structural Engineer, and ISSE, which we call as a ISSE, is now ready with one material, one book we have written about PBD, and soon it will be launched. I will inform all of you whenever we have function, and once we publish it, book is already printed, it is ready, and we will inform you. It will be a very good material for all of us. And in future, wherever for both big buildings, code exceeding things, we will be forced to go for PBD designs. In US and those areas, PBD is very common now. Next. See, I'm sitting in my office. It is just behind me, this building. It is 87 story building. Originally, it was planned for 117 story. 117 story building, it was planned. But because of civic aviation, we have restricted it to 87. Probably it is one of the largest tower in India. And I am also involved in design of this building, where rough foundations were done. And this is purely shear wall structure, column and shear walls. And lift walls are mostly used as a shear walls. Core it should be strong for any building. And normally, where we provide lifts, number of lifts are too high in big buildings, and that gives a very good resistance to lateral forces. And this is one of the best example of India, world towers in Mumbai. Next. This is all two buildings which we have done 50 story in Mumbai only, designed by us only. And third building also going on for 50 story in same floor. Already completed, already occupied. This is real pictures. Next. This is one of the very important building on Worli Sea Face, most prestigious place of Mumbai. This is Bridge Candy, one of the highest priced Mumbai building. It is also occupied now. It was during construction photo. Similarly, this is also Mumbai building. This is one Mangalore building, this fourth one. This is we have done at Mangalore. This is also 30-35 story. One of the highest building in Mangalore. Bangalore I have not done. This is Mangalore building. Next. See, with this thing, this is very general, but challenges are going to increase day by day. You should be equipped to tackle all the problems. And big cities, especially Mumbai, Chennai, Kolkata, Delhi, Bangalore, they have in future will be tremendous number of high-rise buildings, more than 30-35 stories. And government should also support, because of high-rise buildings, at least you will get quality air, quality atmosphere all around, and you will be able to create ground floor spaces to have some recreation places. Otherwise, cities are drying, and high-rise buildings are going to pose a lot of challenge. Construction, every aspect, architectural it is challenging, structural it is challenging, geotech it is challenging, environment it is challenging, and every building now, in most of the buildings are to be provided with STP, and that is another challenge, because STP is to be provided below the buildings, which is going to spoil your columns and shear walls if it is not properly planned. So that also we have to take into consideration, non-structural members, structural members, everything. Anything, I think I have said within 45 minutes, whatever best available with me. I have shown few buildings to you. Any question you can have?
Jain sir, thank you. I have one basic question.
Yes, sir.
that already you have mentioned that structural steel building in high-rise sector, it is common in European or American country, but in India, concrete is mostly popular. Why how is it happening that we are going opposite, whether they are doing the mistake or we are doing the mistake, or just things are natural, everything is correct?
No, it is not mistake. India, still cement concrete is cheaper. If you go toward steel, pure steel, it will not be more cost effective compared to, and our people are greedy. I told you earlier only. We are ready to put money in Italian marble. Okay.
Okay.
One architect I know constructed building, and after laying flooring, he went and he said, "This is not good." He broke out 1,000 rupees square feet Italian marble. Building cost is 3,000 to 4,000 rupees square feet. Say 25% in flooring. But for steel, they have no money. They are not ready to use good reinforcement. They want to go secondary steel. Normally, for this type of building, we must use primary steel only. Primary steel only. But what I get from IS code, see, our that rolling mill people will come with one certificate that we are confirming, our steel is confirming IS, whatever number is there. And we are forced to, even in government sector, you are that steel is being used is secondary steel. Primary steel is being used by only few people only. So still, if you want to go steel, it is a good, because you will have more speed. Just you will cut band, you will bring the steel on site and you will get erected soon. But in our country, it will take time. Cost effectiveness then comes, then steel gets out. But composite is being used at least, where steel and concrete are playing a very good role. And for very big towers, composite is a good solution, which saves carpet also. But another problem is with deflections, and that controlling with RCC becomes slightly easy. Your stiffnesses are too high in RCC compared to pure steel. So composite is another good solution. So many times people, good consultant, what do they construct core in RCC and other frames in steel or composite, and they achieve the results. Especially deflections, because in lateral load, in wind or earthquake, you will have deflections. You have to control. Yeah. So it will take time, sir, and our people are not conscious.
No, sir.
Our people, everybody knows this thing. Everybody give good lecture. The builder also give good present. They never show in here their advertise what steel they are using. They bring some heroine and put advertise good buildings. One of my friend builder, he is now wanted by some custom people, was putting Anushka Sharma in his advertise. You tell me what is connected with Anushka Sharma and advertise of building. Today I see one ad that he is opening entrance lobby with one heroine. That lady Hedri, some name, lady actress. You tell me what is to be done with building. Building should be good and strong enough like Dharasan, not by like heroines. They are very nice. They can dance only. We don't want that our building should dance. They should be stable. In lateral load, your building should not dance.
Yeah. Another suggestion.
And philosophy of our building people. And Ambuja Cement, that 30 years ago, one gentleman very close to me now was showing in cement concrete advertise, comparing that with girls. Concrete को girls से बताता था, बिकिनी की girl को. मैं बोला ये क्या लगाया तूने? Are you pervert? Concrete should be as strong as Darasingh or mountain. And that Ambuja Cement stopped showing those clips. As a student, people were putting clapping. लोग खुश होते थे देख के, गाना बजाता था. तो हमें कंसेप्ट को हम लोगों को, we have to think that our concrete, our structure should be good, strong like mountain. It should not shake. Beautify is finishing item that can be done later on. Structure we can't change once it is constructed. And many times people are facing problem today after 10-20 years only. And it is not easy to repair or strengthen 40-story building, because construction itself is 5 to 10 years. What you will repair? So we have to plan long, and changes of plans and this thing, corporation goes on increasing FSI. Our government should be also very alert in this matter.
Sir, another question I am having. as you are designing and constructing or involved in so many committees, so many courts, etc. Now, what is the life expectancy of this building? Whenever you are designing anything, what is the design life? It is 100 years, 50 years, 80 years. What is that?
सर एक बात बताओ, कोड में कहीं लाइफ लिखी नहीं है. It is what people talk 100 year. How design life? See, design is one part. You are qualifying as per IS code. If you maintain it, nothing should happen for 200 years also. If you don't maintain, new building will also come in trouble. ताजमहल बनाया गया, कोई डिजाइन लाइफ थी नहीं थी. आज भी बंबई का ताज होटल बनाई गई, देयर इज नो लाइफ. 100 ईयर 200 ईयर की बिल्डिंग फाउंटेन्स में आर परफॉर्मिंग वेल. इट इज बेसिकली हु आर द यूजर, हु इज मेंटेनिंग. इफ यू आर मेंटेनिंग प्रॉपरली, नथिंग शुड हैपन टू योर लाइफ. इट विल गो ऑन.
So, as you are talking,
one more point I am telling you. See what happens when FSI increases. Government what do? If building is danger, this will be allowed more FSI. So people declare good building also danger building. We say 100, it is already 60-year-old, so it should be now reconstructed. But that is not correct thing. Any good maintained building will perform. Nothing will happen for 200, 300 years also. A lot of buildings we can see in Fountain in Mumbai, Marine Drives, performing more than 200 years, 100 to 200 years. Well performing, nothing, because they are maintaining them. If you don't maintain, there will be problem.
Okay. Now, sir, my another question is that, sir, a few days back, I came across this situation that whenever any small items we are purchasing, that whenever any small item we purchase from the market, two things are there. One is warranty, another is maintenance manual. But when you are putting your building so much costlier asset, do you recommend that some type of manual maintenance manual should be there, or is it there at all, or just simple guidelines?
See, most of the buildings are done by builders.
Okay.
So they don't want to give anything to buyer. At least now RERA is there. So RERA is saying up to 5 years or something happens, you talk to us. Otherwise, there are no proper guideline in India. And a person who buys a home or office puts his lifetime money and he moves around his premises only. And we are happy when we get premises after 10 years, which was promised 2 years. So now we are when we are at such age, we feel happy when we get key. We are at mercy of builders, and 80% builders are not proper builders. They are just any person, paper wala, doodh wala becomes builder, and he make buildings. He himself manual is not there. If you see their record, they will be very difficult to see, and you will not buy the flats or office. See, in towns and small villages, it is not a big problem. The problem is with tall buildings, big complexes.
Yeah. So anyway, sir, now, sir, it is now up to you, your question.
Yes, sir, I have few questions. Sir, you are telling about the shore piles that are inserted in basement. Can you please elaborate on that construction aspect of it? And also, how do we avoid this seepage water in those kind of 2 to 3 basement buildings?
Shore piles, see, when as per strata, if suppose it is not rock on surface and you want to go 3 basement, so loose soil from adjoining plot will come in our plot. And also to safeguard adjoining structures, sheet pile or shore piles are constructed all around plot, and then the excavation is done, or rock are broken or whatever. In shore piles, when water is coming, the shore piles are normally, there are gap of 2 inch between 2 piles. That is practically required to drive the piles. And in Mumbai, it is very common. At few places, when the soil is loose sand or soft clay, we provide secant pile to prevent the flow of soil and this thing. And after shore pile is completed, gaps are sealed with concrete and construction is done. And it is very common here. In Mangalore also, we have done some few buildings where shore piles are done because 2-3 basements were there. And last 20 years only these shore piles have become popular. Earlier, there were no shore piles because single basement were there. Last 10 years, I think 3 basements, 4 basements, lot of basements are going on. All over India, it will happen now. Especially in big cities. Small cities, especially Bangalore, also you must be having 3, 4 basements somewhere. 2 basements, one basement, okay, but 2, 3, 4 basements. Especially all the hotels and even residential, you need 3 basements. You are not able to come out with height restriction is there. Lot of problems are there. So shore pile.
Sir, I have one more question, sir. We use this PBD concept, that is performance-based design concept, for analysis, to assess the seismic performance of old buildings. How does it matter for the high-rise buildings, sir?
Because see what happens, when you are exceeding codes, code is provided H by 500 deflection, but you are exceeding that. You are not able to control building that. At that time, you have to refer to PBD. When things are exceeding code, but building is safe. So as a designer, you feel it is safe, but I am exceeding codes. So that performance-based design approach is needed. In foreign US or many European countries, that is being used, and we are also ready with one document from our ISSA. Moment it is published, I will inform you all who want to have this. One of our Bombay consultant has written this book, who was in US for many years, and many of our colleagues are in CTBH and other places. So, but that will be used will be only for very, very big buildings.
Sir, in such cases, I think in performance-based design, normally the deflection will be too much. And there also, we try to restrict it to 4% storage drift and all.
Whatever.
Now,
That's why PBD concept we have to go. We have to do a lot of things. And PBD at present nobody is doing. No, at present in India we are not doing. So now it will be a new challenge for all of us. I have been appointed in ERP where we have to recommend whether PBD is required or not. So now let us see what happens in 2022 or 2023, how we will come out. Because new experiment for all of us. And every day you are not constructing 100 story, 50 story.
Yeah.
When things go beyond 250 meter or like that, ERP panel as prescribed in 16700 may ask to go for PBD if they feel. It is new for all of us. We are in experimental stage now. And within a year or two, many of us will have some good knowledge about this thing. So for civil engineering PhD or MTech thesis, this can be a good topic, PBD. And that will help our interest in the large structures.
and sir, you said you have designed this 100 floors, more than 100 floors building, 100 meters building. In those cases, do we use only shear walls as the earthquake resistant element, or any other combination we go for, sir?
Those were performing well with shear walls. Residential buildings are there. So shear wall, tremendous number. Both directions shear wall should be equally there. Many times what happens, one direction you have shear walls. Both direction you should have shear wall. And that depends on planning. That's why planning is very important. And in planning itself, you should apply structure. But unfortunately, many times plot sizes are such that architect is also restricted with very, very limited things. And structure then has to reverse challenge to adjust everything. So when thing comes, you have to plan as per that. What plan you get, as per that structure you have to provide. No? And if we are not able to solve, then we have to adjust with architect and owner to change the plan and adjust the things. Normally, lip walls and core, the core becomes very important in lateral deflection to help us out. In commercial, it is a different. Square columns are there. In residential, the walls are very close, but in commercial, the columns are very far away. So core takes most of the loads, 90% or more than is absorbed by that only. And columns just behave like column only. It takes very nominal lateral loads.
And sir, you said this
softwares are there to take our earlier there were no softwares to do trial. Also, it was difficult. At least today we are lucky that one model we run, we feel that deflection is not good. We change the shape, we change few columns, we change few shear walls, we alter their um, um, uh, orientation, and we can do trials more time, and we can achieve results. Earlier days, there were no computers 20 years ago. Now in 20 years, we have many softwares, etc. So we are able to, at least lucky to uh, observe how it is behaving. Because 6 months you are doing calculation, and what you will check, and still you are not sure how it is performed. But at least now you can see your results, you can see drift, you can see mode shape, etc., and you can modify things which is required. We are very
Sir,
lucky.
one more. I think in your discussion you said this regarding this wind tunnel test, sir. You said nobody is going to do it. What may be the cost of it? Why there
It
is
is
an
not very
hindrance?
big cost. Cost is not
Uh,
big, but we have seen, we have no mentally, we are not ready now. We are reluctant for anything new. इंडियन प्रैक्टिस इज फ्री में सब चाहिए हमको. सॉफ्टवेयर ईटैप फ्री में मिलेगा तो पायरेटेड वी विल यूज. पैसा देके 1 लाख रुपया लग रहा है तो वी डोंट वांट टू बाय. इन वन ऑफ कमिटीज इन गवर्नमेंट व्हेन वी वर प्रेजेंट, आई आस्क्ड कंसल्टेंट कि भाई ये सॉफ्टवेयर कौन सा, तो बोला सर पायरेटेड है. ही इज आंसरिंग दिस इन फ्रंट ऑफ कमिटी, आई एम यूजिंग पायरेटेड. टुमारो ही विल गो बी जेल्ड. So this is a request, we don't know. He said, okay, this is pirated, sir. हमने कहा भाई then you buy new software, come next time with certificate. So because in pirated you are doing sometimes some serious lapses may be there in pirated. We don't know what will happen, and how we can say that you are using pirated and we are allowing. So our people are like that. They want to earn crores but don't want to put money. Even Windows people want to use pirated. MS Office also they want to use pirated. So, we have to tackle this thing, but now things are improving. People are knowledgeable. They are doing something.
sir, we have some few questions from participants. Can we take up, sir?
Yes, sir. एक आध दो 3 minutes, 5 minutes.
Yeah. Okay. Pavitra, can you
Yes,
just?
sir. Yes, sir. Sir, steel when exposed to sea or salt water, corrosion reduces the steel's ability to withstand earthquake. Do you have any suggestions or theory about how to solve this one?
Sir, you can start, sir.
Yes, sir. You can start.
Jain, sir, you can start, sir.
Hello, Jain sir, are you listening? Hello. Hello. Sir, are you listening? Hello.
Hello, sir. Jain, sir.
I think some network problem. Let me contact him.
Pavitra, we will wait for 1 or 2 minutes. I think sir is going to come back.
Okay, sir.
Pavitra, are there more questions
No, sir. Some 2 questions, sir.
regarding high-rise building? Are there?
It's not regarding high-rise buildings.
Okay, okay.
Hello, Jain Sahab, are you listening? Sir, is there any other question? Otherwise, you have to end the session because he is not this one. He might have left the seat in between. So we can end the session. In any question is there, you can forward to me. Sir, your microphone is off. Your microphone is off.
Yeah. I think this question you can only answer, sir. The question is regarding this corrosion near the offshore structures.
Yeah.
How do you control that? They are asking that question.
Sir, from my knowledge, I am telling you, sir.
Yeah.
One thing, if concrete is perfect, exactly for corrosion, 2 things are required: simultaneous presence or simultaneous contact of air and water, both with the rebar. If air is absent or water is absent, then corrosion will not take place. That is the principle of corrosion. Now the thing is that you cannot most probably stop air from contacting the rebar. Somehow it will go, but we can stop water to go inside the concrete. That is the basic principle. So if concrete is perfect, there is no crack. First thing, there will not be any corrosion. Now another 2 options are there to prevent the corrosion, even in case of minor crack. If the water goes into the concrete somehow, then one is rebar may be galvanized. Nowadays galvanized rebar is available. Another is polyurethane paint rebar is also available. Number of plants are there. They are taking the rebar and they are painting it. So both painted rebars are there and your galvanized rebars are there. So, but it's additional cost. So that's why in most of the places we are stressing on the better concrete rather than to put the this coating. And coating may create another type of problem, that is the bonding strength. But by coating, whether bonding strength will increase or it will decrease, that depends upon the test again, because there is no such data available that if we go for the painting or go for the galvanizing, whether bonding strength will increase or decrease. But you know that in TMT bars there are some ribs. That ribs help us to increase the bonding strength. So that is another situation. But if concrete, if we are confident that concrete is, sir, just he is online. 1 minute, sir. Sir, exactly. People are asking question to you. Are you online? Okay. Okay. Sir, this is exactly Jain Sahab was calling me. He is telling that somehow some urgent meeting is there. He has left. He thought that meeting has, when that streaming was off, he thought that meeting has ended. But anyway, sir, he is very experienced person and very close to our INSDAG and so many structural organizations. In case of particular any problem and your question is there, I can forward it. And so far corrosion is concerned, I have told you these 2 things. Steel is in steel structure, steel is open. Really, we can paint, we can go for that galvanizing, or you can go for the metallizing, as I have told on the second day. But for rebar, as it is totally covered by the concrete, If concrete quality is good, there is no protection is required. And another thing we have to check, no river should be exposed to outside of concrete. That also we have to ensure. So sufficient cover has to be there. Otherwise, in concrete, if it is good concrete, corrosion is not a problem.
Is it the same with the steel structure, sir? Is that we have to use galvanized steel in such case?
Yeah.
In steel structures?
Yeah.
In steel structures also, is it the same? Or we need to use galvanized steel elements?
One thing let me know, yes, steel can be galvanized. But as I have told, in our structural application, it is fabricated at site or workshop. Galvanizing has to be done within the factory only. So once it is coming out of factory, really galvanizing is not possible because hot, deep galvanizing, that hot bath is required. So what we are doing, once it has come out, again, if we take the galvanized section, it will be very difficult to weld it because welding is a very important. So we cannot weld on the galvanized portion. So that's why when corrosion is really a problem, means it is highly corrosive area like seashore or industrial belt, then what we have to do, that we have to go for better coating system. That one coating system is that normal primer with some aluminum painting or red oxide painting. Another is micaceous iron oxide epoxy-based paint are there. Another good option nowadays, railways is practicing that they are doing the thermal spraying. That is exactly substitute of your galvanizing. So they are giving one coat of thermal spraying, then they are going for simply painting, ordinary painting. So this is the solution, and railways are doing that. Or otherwise also corrosion resistant steels are available, but the corrosion resistant steel will be little costlier. People, as that Jain was telling, people are concerned about the cost. So that's why maybe it will be difficult to use corrosion resistant steel. Though I know few places that corrosion resistant steel has been used. I know one railway bridges near Vijayawada. I have seen that also. That is performing well, but cost will be more. So painting is better because anyway steel structure for beautification we have to paint.
We have to paint.
Because we cannot leave the bare steel. So if painting is done, let us use the good quality painting, it will give. Even that more than 20 years painting like it is nowadays available, that paint specification. So corrosion is not at all an issue nowadays.
Okay. I think, thank you, sir. Thank you for that informative information.
Okay,
and in his absence here, I would like to thank Jain sir for giving such a wonderful information regarding high-rise buildings.
Yes,
I think our participants are also enlightened through his lecture. I think, shall we end the session, sir?
Now we should end the session, I think. And if any question is there, again, I am repeating, yes, please send me the question, you will get the reply.
Definitely, definitely.
Okay.
Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, so tomorrow morning again at 11.
Yeah, tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock.
Okay, sir. Okay.
I thank all the participants for being part of this session. We shall meet at 11 o'clock tomorrow. Thank you so much.
Thank you.